What's up, everybody? Welcome to 94.1 WWLLMP. I am your host, Loco Lizard Man. This is the first episode of a new podcast I'm doing. I'll be giving you my highlights, lowlights, and flybys of what I've been playing and watching, as well as discussing a certain topic of conversation, ending the show in a rotating segment. What could those segments be? You'll see when we get there. Let's get into it. Let's start with what I've been watching, because there's really only one thing. Stranger Things 2, people. Okay. I'm not on the hype train of season 1. I thought season 1 was okay. The characters, alright. Enjoyed the story. The story was what really kept me going. But I will say, getting into season 2 was so much better for the most part overall. There are a few people, not really a spoiler, I don't think, but Billy, his character goes a little bit, but I don't think there's any really need for him to be in there. But it's funny, I found out later I didn't even recognize that he was the Red Ranger in the new Power Rangers movie. Who would have thought? But yeah, love Stranger Things 2. The way it ends, pretty cool. Just got renewed for season 3. I enjoyed it. I gotta say, that show has grew on me quite a lot. Now let's get into what I've been playing. These are going to be the real meat and potatoes of what I talk about. Let's start up with Tekken 7. I haven't gotten too far into it yet. I enjoy fighting games. I love the Tekken series. Tekken 7 so far is really good. My favorite fighter is Lucky Chloe. I'm not great with her yet, but I'm getting there. I'm starting to know moveset, starting to get used to her. I'm digging her. I could not go toe-to-toe with most of the people I know. I'm just going to put that out there. But I enjoy the game. I'm just starting the campaign. I'll actually probably be continuing the story today a little bit. In a little bit, I should say. That's what I was going for. I can't words right now. Also, I've been playing, let's just say it, I've been playing Battlegrounds. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is an amazing game. It's one of my top games this year. And it never lets me down. Like, it does, but doesn't at the same time. Because sometimes it just doesn't play the best. But, early access games. It doesn't change the fact that I have over 350 hours into it now. And the game has been out for 9 months. Not even 9 months. Crazy to think about. Just crazy. So good. So fun. I had a pretty awesome game. I was playing duos with my friend Neural. And yes, I have stuff he knows. There was a house. We knew people were in it. But we had to think of a way to draw them out. So I'm like, all right, I got an idea. He hid under the stairs. Meanwhile, I took their car. So a guy came out and started shooting at me. Neural from behind took him out. We never found the other guy, but we took that guy's stuff. We took the car. We got out of there. It was an awesome move. We make a great team, Neural and I. I'm just going to point that out. No, we don't have any chicken dinners, but we have gotten close multiple times. Next up, I've been playing Skyrim VR. So I'm not a huge Skyrim fan. Let's just ignore the fact that I got 2 copies of it in the past couple weeks because I got it on VR and then Black Friday for PS4. I'm not a huge Skyrim fan. I have about 30 hours into the original one. I have about 10 hours into Skyrim VR right now, and I play it with the 2 Move controllers, which actually is a really great control scheme. It's not... There are problems with it, don't get me wrong. Turning isn't the best because you use a button on one of the Move controllers to turn each way, but I'm telling you, when you're using that sword and shield 1-to-1 with how the controllers are, it's wonderful. I had a moment where I'm walking along. Out the corner of my eye, I see a wolf lunge at me. Normal instinct, I'm going to block myself with my arm, because if the wolf were to attack me, if he bites me, at least he'd be biting my arm other than my face. Didn't even think about it. I had my shield and sword attached, and I move my hand, and it just blocks the wolf and dazes him. And I'm like, oh shit, that's right. It was crazy how it worked. It was awesome. I could not, it was one of those, after I beat the wolf, I just stood there for a minute just fathoming how this is playing out. It was so fun. Skyrim VR is, in my opinion, the way to play that game, and with the Move controllers. Like I said, movement isn't the best, and I could understand where people get a little dizzy from it, especially when going down spiral staircases, because there are a good few of them in that game. But it is fantastic. It's so fun. I never thought I'd get into Skyrim like that. Another one I've been playing is Hidden Agenda. In fact, I'm going to be streaming that tonight even. That game is by Supermassive, the people who brought you Until Dawn and Until Dawn Rush of Blood, as well as the upcoming The Impatient and I want to say it's called Bravo Team for PlayStation VR. And it's kind of in the vein of Until Dawn, but use your phone to make the choices, do any quick movements, stuff like that. It's one of their the PlayStation PlayLink games. The thing that sucks is the app is like 215 megabytes, which I need all the room I can get on my phone right now, and that eats a good little chunk of it. But I'm having a blast with that game. I've played it 2 times now. I still have not been able to get the good ending, so I'm going to be playing it tonight, trying to get the good ending. It's an interesting game. The main actress in it is Katie Cassidy, better known for her role as, oh God, what is her name on it? Laurel Lance on Arrow. I cannot remember her name as being Laurel for some reason. Yeah, such a fun game. It's definitely not as good as Until Dawn, and some of the animations are kind of wonky, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the story. I want to know what's gonna happen, but I haven't been able to get there yet because I keep getting arrested or dying. So hopefully tonight we can get there. We can see this story through. Last thing I want to talk about, and it's going to go right into my topic of the week. I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. I am, you know what, let me get into the topic of the week and I will incorporate my thoughts on it in there. First, let me say the campaign was okay. I thought some of the stuff was interesting. Without spoiling it, you don't play as Iden Versio the whole time. It felt like they were throwing in characters just to throw in characters, because there were specifically 3 parts where I'm like, why am I playing as this character when the whole idea is Iden said we should do this? And it's like, but then why didn't Iden do it? Because I thought the campaign was supposed to be about her, about Inferno Squad. It ended on a cliffhanger, which I'm guessing will be free DLC that will come out right after, or the day of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. But it was just overall underwhelming, the campaign. And especially, let's not get into the fact that none of the trophies for the first half of the campaign popped, so I need to replay it. I want to get into, for the topic, the loot crates in Star Wars Battlefront 2. I am both for and against the loot crate system, because we're going to talk about loot crates in Battlefront 2 and just in games in general. Now, we're going to start with Battlefront 2. There's 2 topics to talk about here. There's the loot crates. There's also the whole idea of you can buy the characters, and we'll start with that one. So, before the game launched, the characters were set at 60,000 credits to unlock. Somebody took how much you got from the beta, from each win, stuff like that, and averaged everything out, and it would take you around 40 hours to unlock either Luke or Vader, who are 60,000 credits apiece. Now, they then toned that down after a lot of criticism. 15,000 credits for Vader and Luke, 10,000 for Palpatine, Leia, and someone else, and 5,000 for Iden Versio. I keep saying Verso. Iden Versio. And that's all fine and dandy. They then lowered how much you get credit-wise each round. But I will have to say, people are being really big babies about this, because I beat half of the campaign, so I only got half of the milestone credits for that. For beating the campaign, I got 5,000 credits, so I was able to unlock Iden, because originally it gave you 20,000 credits for beating the campaign, But the whole idea about the campaign is it would give you the amount of credits to unlock the main character of the campaign. I can understand that completely. So, gave me 5,000 for that. So I unlocked Aiden. There's one of the, I want to say 6 unlockable characters. I played one arcade match, 2 hours of Starfighter Assault. No, an hour and a half of Starfighter Assault. And the campaign things. With the milestone rewards you get, right now, I could unlock Palpatine or Leia, or I feel like there's a third one for 10,000. I'm at 12,000 some credits. That's not much at all. The milestones give you so much that I don't see any problem with how much. I almost, after the campaign and not even 2 hours of total playtime online and between online and arcade, and I'm only about 3,000 credits away from unlocking one of the highest heroes in the game. That's not bad at all. So I don't understand why people are complaining. I think it's a lot of people who haven't played it yet who don't understand the milestones. The milestones give you a ton. But next up, we're going to go into the loot crates, which the night, not even the night before, but not even hours before the game went on sale to the general public, they changed it up. They took out the ability to buy loot crates in the game. So what the loot crates in this game do, you can get star cards for use on characters. If you played the first Battlefront, you understand the star card thing. Well, you can buy star cards, essentially. You buy loot crates, you can get star cards. And you can power up your star cards with other copies of that star card. So if you buy $20 in loot crates, you can power up your star cards, and somebody won't have it yet because they haven't bought it. The day it came out, people could be super powered compared to other people because they just bought the ability to level up their abilities. But they took that out. That's what a lot of people are mad about, because it kind of is pay to win, because it does affect the overall gameplay. And not only does it affect the gameplay, it's a multiplayer game, so it affects the gameplay for everybody in that match, in essence. So I think that is kind of scummy. They say they couldn't do cosmetic items. I could kind of disagree, because I could think of some cosmetic items that Disney and Lucasfilm would gladly let slide, or at least I shouldn't say gladly, but I could definitely see them being okay with. For example, let one of the rare items be Darth Vader with his mask off. Get them yo, that's a really rare item. Shit like that. It's cosmetic. It doesn't affect the gameplay, but it's awesome to get. Makes you want to buy crates to try and get it. But the winning portion is just really bad. Now, for my stance on loot crates as a whole in gaming, there are ways they can be done wrong, e.g. Star Wars Battlefront, and ways they can be done right, e.g. Overwatch. Now, the reason I'm not fully against them, games last went up in price over a decade ago. That was when they made their last leap. They went from 50 to 60 for every game. Now, game prices to make, the price to make games has increased significantly, and especially with AAA games. So we really are lucky that we're still paying $60. Now, the reason I'm okay with loot crates is, for say one person buys $200 worth of loot crates. Just think of it. For 20 people, that would be like them paying an extra $10 to the company. For one person that they like to call a whale who spends a lot of money on games, if you get 5 people who do that That's $1,000, and that covers 100 other people who don't have to pay an extra $10 for the game. I'm okay with this. Like, I don't see any problem with the way that works. Overwatch does it well. It's all cosmetic. You don't have to worry about anybody getting an edge over another person in the match. Everybody's still even. But you'll see that person like, yo, they got that skin, or oh my god, they got that emote or voice line. Specifically, like, I love Diva's Game Over to the point where I bought crates to either try and get it or save up in coins so I could get it, because it was so cool. Things like that are done. I'm okay with the way the industry does those. I don't see it as scummy. I see it as a way for them to earn their money back. Because, like I said, I could see that costing a ton of money to make, and they need to recoup that somehow. So I'm all right. I'm all right with it. It all depends on it. What was it? Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War. I always mix the two games up. Single player predominantly. There's kind of multiplayer elements, but let's not even really worry about that. Apparently, it is a grind in the later game. So the idea is they want you to spend money to kind of make that grind not happen. But apparently, it doesn't even really make that much of a difference. So it's kind of like, you do you, but you haven't really affected the game at all. But I mean, even Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the newest one, I can't remember the name. Apparently there was a microtransaction you could buy that like gave you all these ability points right at the beginning, and you could pretty much god tier your way through the game. That's a single player game. It doesn't affect anybody but you. If somebody wants to do that because they're like, hey, I don't have the time to try and unlock all these things, I'm going to just pay $5 and get it. I'm okay with that. You do you. No harm, no foul. But there's a really bad look on loot crates in gaming right now. But for me, it's all about how they are implemented. So I've given you some examples of bad and some examples of good, namely one example. But I would like to hear your opinions on loot crates. What makes them bad? Why are you against them? Why are you for them? What makes them good? This is a really interesting topic, and I want to hear many different opinions, because I don't know if there really is an overall right and wrong. Like I said, there's right and wrong for implementations, but I don't think there's an overall right and wrong for this subject. Now, I'm going to finish out today with one of my I shouldn't say new, because this whole thing is new, with one of my rotating segments. So, the first segment I'm going to spit out here is my recommended streamer. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/locallizardman, shameless plug. And I've met a lot of people through Twitch. A lot of great streamers, a lot of great people who just view streams. A lot of great people are on there. There's great communities. And I want to give my first highlight to the one and only Duke McHuge. He's a great guy with a great accent and probably the best hair in the business. He just celebrated a birthday. So I want you all to go over to twitch.tv/Duke McHuge. Check him out. Give him a happy belated birthday and have a good time. His streams are great, and he's just an overall great dude. So give him your love. Give him your affection. Give him your time. Thanks, everybody, for joining me for 94.1 WWLLMP Episode 1. I shall return again next week, probably same time, most definitely same place. Good night, YouTube. Good night.